Arriving on the realms from bolts of lightning, the Stormcast Eternals are the resurrecting warriors of Sigmar. As the name might suggest, Sigmar and his elite forces of shock troops play a pretty big part in the story of Age of Sigmar. And so today, we're going to talk a bit about who they are, where they come from, and what separates them from the humans and other mortals also fighting chaos. When the Age of Chaos fell across the mortal realms, and the Dark Gods began to send their forces across them, Sigmar faced a hard choice. He had tried to battle chaos back into the dark, alongside the other gods of men, dwarves, and elves, but their alliance had failed, their fellowship broken. Sigmar stood at the gates of his protected realm of heaven, Azyr, with the dwarven god Grungi, and looked out on the destruction the mortal realms now faced. Making the hard choice, he gathered what refugees he could and closed off Azyr from the rest of the mortal realms. Together, he and Grungi then created an army empowered with Sigmar's energies. Taken from the souls of the greatest warriors to have died, the golden-clad warriors of the God King are reborn upon the Anvil of Apotheosis. Each time one of these twice-born heroes is slain in battle, their form twists into arcs of lightning, knocking back those around them. They then return to Azyr, where they are shattered and reforged upon the anvil. Each time they undergo this process, a part of the warrior is lost. This could be a part of their compassionate nature, their memories of a friend, or even their own past. The reforging process is the Stormcast Eternals' greatest weapon, but it is also a curse. Each experiences horrible deaths, only to return to fight again until their next grisly end. Their fight is their namesake, eternal, and they each know that no rest awaits them until chaos is removed from the mortal realms entirely. To carry out this heavy burden, each Stormcast is more than just a human in armour. They are granted the strength of 12 men and undergo intense training to prepare them for the multitude of different enemies the forces of order face. After all, your tactics and fighting style will likely change when you're fighting a mob of greenskins one day to trying to hunt incorporeal ghosts the next. When Sigmar's new army was ready to take to battle, these scions of the storm rode to war upon blessed bolts of lightning, the rumble of thunder warning the forces of chaos that something new was rushing to meet them. With such force and ferocity did the Stormcast take on the forces of chaos, they created pockets of safety within the mortal realms. From here, they began to expand their reclaimed territory and create new homes for those who had lived under the rule of chaos in Sigmar's absence. For a time, it was all that the Stormcast could do to hold these pockets, but as the war with chaos has progressed, more and more forces have amassed to take on the ruinous powers. From the Lumineth Realmlord's magic, the Fyreslayer's blades, and the numerous forces of the various cities of Sigmar, the fight against chaos is not so hopeless anymore. The mortal realms now, at least in some areas, knows peace. The Stormcast do not charge into battle alone, however, and have a menagerie of animal companions to assist them in their fight. Probably the most famous of the bunch, the Gryph-hounds have hooked beaks and retractable claws, but their most useful trait is their sharp senses. Capable of detecting foes sneaking up on the forces of order and feeling the change in the air that precedes the appearance of demons, these cute little chaps give warning, allowing the Stormcast to prepare for the oncoming assault. They also become swift predators, diving onto their foes in a rainbow array of coloured feathers. As great as the Gryph-hounds are, they're just a little too small to be rode into battle. This is where their distant cousins, the Gryph-chargers, come into play. Thought by some to be the swiftest beasts across the 8 realms, these creatures are capable of running alongside the currents of the winds of magic that whip across all of creation. This talent allows Gryph-chargers to move faster than the eye can follow, if just for a moment, giving their riders the drop on their quarry. And of course, Gryph-hounds and chargers are cool, but the Stormcast have one more group of non-humanoids they can call on to aid them in their fight against chaos. Dragons. Since before the Stormcast were created, Sigmar and the Dracotheon had been grand allies. It is not unsurprising then to see drakes and dragons of various sizes taking to the skies, Stormcast Eternals riding atop them. Many a servant of chaos has been trampled underfoot by the Dracoths, and many more have felt the searing heat of the Dracothian Guard's breath. These dragon riders are led into battle by Lord Celestants that have earned the trust and respect of a Star Drake, taking command of a battlefield from atop this gargantuan beast of muscle and magic capable of harnessing the power of the cosmos itself. As you've probably gathered, the Stormcast Eternals are a powerful force to be reckoned with in the mortal realms. So why haven't they defeated all of their enemies already? Their main issue is numbers. Each Stormcast Eternal is a tailor-made warrior, and it takes time to create and train a warrior of that magnitude. Add to that the power that the enemies of Sigmar possess, and it's fair to see how the forces of Order have been able to push Chaos back, but not defeat them outright. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Stormcast. Their noble, bright aesthetic is a nice contrast to the more evil factions of Age of Sigmar, but they still have the depth of character that comes with their reforged flaws. The Celestial Vindicators are a great example of this, with the entire Storm host suffering with greater and greater rage against Chaos with each reforging. They have been known to wipe out an entire settlement due to the presence of Chaos in a few of its inhabitants, just to ensure that no taint remains within the city. Whilst they started off as mighty heroes, and still truly care about the safety of the mortals under their protection, the effects of the Anvil have left them with a blind rage to matters when Chaos is involved. And I think that makes for interesting story building when designing your own army or even your own custom Storm host. Now that you know what I think of the Stormcast Eternals, I want to find out your thoughts. The good, the bad, the ugly. Note them down in the comments. And as always, if you're enjoying the videos, consider dropping me a like and subscribe for more lore content next time. I'll see you then.